Ooh. I'm sharing to groups, guys, till a lot of people start. Trey, get off group text, Trey. Y'all can come on here and start talking. Victoria League. I don't have as many. Basically what I'm doing right now is sharing to groups. I don't have a lot. And it's kind of, God, guys, cut it out. It's kind of OnlyFans. I'm probably going to not do all of them. I'll just share it to them later. Until people start coming. Got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot. SS, USA, Dallas, Houston, West Texas. I probably wasn't supposed to. A lot of senior. Man, you know what? I've got, with my team, I'm on that group text, and this is the reason I get off that group text, or I don't like group text, is because they're all on it, and they talk to each other every day, and like at 11, 12 o'clock at night, and I'm already sleeping, and my phone is just going off, and my wife's yelling at me, turn the phone off. And I have it on silent, but it keeps doing that. But now they're talking about stupid shit. One guy called the other guy Kinkles, and he's mad. Corpus, Kansas. All things. I only have a few more, and then I'll get started talking about what and I'll kind of ramble a little bit too when I'm marking these off. I said this last week when I was doing stuff, I want to be a fact checker when it comes to things, because I like when people start talking without facts. I like to, and my daughter's like this too, is she'll try to prove them wrong. But just not necessarily, and not to their face or anything, but just text them, hey, that's not true. I am I don't know if a lot of you guys know the history of me, but I'm on this Alamo page. And when you're on Facebook, you get on all these pages, and I'm a big history buff in the state of Texas, and my version of the Alamo, the way it fell, is different than the Alamo movie, and then the one that actually came out in 2004 with Billy Bob Thornton, Davy Crockett. That one was a little better and depicted how a lot of people died in that. But I kind of know a lot about that, so when I get on these fact checking on these Alamo group, I kind of said, well, it actually didn't go that way. Whenever they talk about how Jim Bowie died and Davy Crockett died, and, who is who fought there, who came in. Travis, he wasn't very well liked. Just a big Alamo history buff too. If you guys know me, you know why. I'm not going to talk about it now because this is softball, but I like getting on there, and they're like, who is this kid, And they're like in their 70s and 80s on there, and they, who is he? And they want verification on who I am or how do I know all these things. Because what I know about the Alamo is not what you guys know about the Alamo. It was different. It wasn't, there was heroes there. There wasn't any, I'm not saying there wasn't, it wasn't that way. Especially with Davy Crockett dying at the end. And Jim Bowie didn't even make it to the end. And that's history that was passed down through my family through the years. So I kind of want to be a fact checker when it comes to either senior softball. And here's the deal, if I don't know about it, I won't get up here and act like I know about it, you know. We just got back, no, let me go to the intro first. We were up in, that's not first. Facebook, YouTube, guys, get on those channels and join them. I've got a bunch of stuff coming up during Vegas and at the end of the year. Talk about a lot of things. YouTube, Instagram, X, Rumble, TikTok, buy, sell, and trade. Answer the questions if you want to get on that buy, sell, and trade group on Facebook. I post things on YouTube, on Facebook that kind of get a lot of people thinking. I posted something the other day and I actually replied to it and it got a lot of comments. Donnie King's watching. Donnie King. But I posted on there about it was about bat speed and heavy bats and light bats compared to heavy bats, and I kind of posted something on there, and it got a lot of replies, over I think 100 replies on it, and I could not believe everybody had a civil conversation and did not get butthurt, didn't yell at anybody. They were taking information in, and I was totally impressed because you don't see that on a lot of no YouTube tonight, no. And the only reason is because I'm bringing Murray on, and I can't do that on that app. Bernie, your birthday today? Happy birthday, Bernie. See, I need to quit answering that stuff. But I put something out there, and I actually stole it from Mayo Dale, I think it was. I forget. When I kind of stole it from him and I put it up there, and he's kind of explaining kind of what I think, you know, happy birthday. I'm not going to do that. So, and his makes sense. And I talked to Murray about this the other day too, and Murray agrees with what he was talking about. You know, the physics when it comes to swinging a softball bat. And people actually chimed in. There was nobody yelling. There was actually a lot of people's theories on there. And I was totally impressed. I was totally impressed the way people acted. And that's what I like, the way people engaged and gained a lot of knowledge. And I actually said that in there. I said, I'm glad to see that seniors can have a conversation, and if they don't agree with you, they're not going to get butthurt and say anything about you or about that. They do that on other channels. When they don't like what the other person's talking about, they tend to call them full of shit. Or there was none of that on that. There was none of that. Well, then again, there's none of that on a lot of stuff that I talk about here. You know, you go to other podcasters out there and they're calling names just because we don't or I don't, you know, agree with something, you know, that they're talking about, or I tend to say something that they don't like, and all of a sudden I'm full of shit. That has happened. But I was kind of impressed that a lot of people got on there and gave them their opinion, and they listened to other people talk. That's awesome. We need to have more of those. We need to have more podcasters. We need to have more mature podcasters. Podcasters that are going to get out there and talk about some things that seniors need to know about. You know, health and nutrition, working out, the new stuff that's out there that your doctor doesn't tell you about. New ways of looking at things. And people that actually can engage and talk. I think we need more of those out there. And we need to have more bat review people out there that are out there doing that. I think, get everybody's opinion on things. Bat review people tend to get a bad rap. You guys know this. You guys watched on YouTube. It's almost like a social media. It's almost like a reality TV show whenever you get on Facebook. I think that's a lot of people are drawn to it. And Instagram is because it's almost like a reality TV show. Everybody's sitting there just, that meme where it's eating popcorn and watching what the other person says. I think we need to get a lot more people's opinion out there about different stuff. That way everybody, like we're doing right here, and what I've done for the last 15 years is give you guys a different pathway to go, because the pathway you're on is not working. And I've been on that path, and I did all this stuff, and I know a lot of people that I talk to, and I do a lot of research at nighttime. I don't hardly sleep. I stay up just either reading papers, or I'm either getting on YouTube and listen to people talk about things. We were up in Denver last week. I will say this, SSUSA tournament, you threw a badass tournament. I played there years ago. It was small at the time. Aurora, Colorado. I lived in Colorado Springs, Colorado for 4 years. Loved it. Loved the atmosphere. Loved the people there. Whenever I left there, they built that big complex in Colorado Springs, so I got to miss that. But I have played all over Denver back in the day. We played there last week, did really good. Played last week, and the way the tournament was ran, it was really good. The way that the umpires were probably some of the best group umpires I think I've ever witnessed, taking control of the game, being consistent in what you're calling. That's all you can ask for, right? With these umpires. It's not all about them. I did not see one game, and I sit around and watch games too. It's not all about them. And they called the game. You can hardly know they were there, They knew the rules. They knew the call. Everything, they knew it, There was some people getting out of hand a little bit, but there were some fans getting out of hand a little bit. But other than that, it was a really good tournament. A little hot, but then again, I came back to 108 degrees today in Texas. It's a different kind of heat there than it is here, just like it's a different kind of cold there as it is here. It is what happened to my back, and a lot of you guys on Facebook would have saw that. What happened to my back is the beds. I actually have a king-size Tempur-Pedic that I sleep on. I have a bad back. Had it for years, guys. It's something that is there. I've had it since I was a kid. Accident that I had when I was 12, 13 years old. And I baby it a lot. Probably not as much as I should, but what happened to me was, Tara, what happened to me was if I sleep on a bad mattress, and we're in a VRBO, and on my side, my mattress went down. It went down at an angle and I can't handle that. I'm 240 pounds. I tend to go off the end of it. And I woke up that next morning and it started to spasm on me. Like, I can run. If you guys watch some of the video, I can run really good and I can swing, but I just couldn't stand up for a long period of time or it would lock up on me. I didn't play much, but then again, I am 64 and I'm playing 55 major. So I expected that, and it doesn't bother me. Had a badass team there. We had a badass team. Really good guys. So one thing I will say about that bracket, I can't talk about all the other brackets, but every person in that bracket, every team in that bracket was evenly matched. Basically, if you got home, you're going to win your game. And guys, if you know what I'm talking about, back and forth, back and forth. If you had a bad tournament, if you had a bad inning, you had to fight to come back and hope they had a bad inning. That's how good the teams were there. And just great guys, great people. great hitters. And I'm not talking about home run all the time. I'm talking about great from 1 to 11 or 1 to 12 that they're running in the lineup. I was like, this is the best competition that I have been around in a long time. And that Denver tournament, I enjoyed it. It was awesome. And then getting to meet the people out there that I talked to that come up to me and congratulated I need to quit reading that. But congratulated, a lot of people came up to me and congratulated me for the job that I got with Porch. And then basically tell me, you know, and this is the part that I like, and I actually told them this, is basically tell me why they enjoyed Senior Softball Bat Reviews when I was doing it, and what I actually contributed to them picking a bat, or even in health and nutrition. And and I told him that means a lot to me when you guys come up and tell me that, because, you know, we don't make a lot of money at this. We really don't. And to have that, you know, and it's not like sit there and just that attaboy shit, you know, that, hey, thanks for what you do and you help me out. That's it. You know, makes us feel a lot better when we're doing these bat reviews. When I was doing it back in the day, guys, I still get this to this day. I still get people calling me and asking me about bats. To this day, I still get a few people, 3 a day average, will call and ask about, hey, this bat is this bat is that, you know, is the Short Porch better than this bat? And I'm not going to do that, guys. We're not going to do that. We have a product out there. We have some products out there. It's called the Movement, that we're gonna do, and the movement is us. What we're doing. We have a product out there, and we're not gonna talk bad about any other bat company. That's Jeff talks about this. You know, Christian talks about this. Leslie talks about it, and we're not gonna, you know, try to talk other people down just to really lift them up. We're gonna do our thing. You know, we're working with new tech, weight distribution, flex, handle flex, barrel flex, just groundbreaking technology is what we're working on. That's the reason that I love what I'm doing, because of the tech. You know, I got phone calls yesterday. I got phone calls this morning with the owners of Short Porch, and they're telling me all this new stuff that they're like surprising me with it, for what they're coming out with next year. And guys, y'all guys ain't ready for what after Vegas, because Vegas is set, right? And what's coming in Vegas, that is set. But what they're already working on coming out of Vegas, going into October, and I know Christian's probably going to get up here and do that little zip mouth kind of thing where he doesn't like me talking about. He doesn't like it. He just says, and I agree with him, because we don't want, you know, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, you know, and putting out a lot of information out there about, you know, what's coming up. And I think Adrian had said something last week, and I want to talk about what he said. And it was basically about, you guys are going to put out too much stuff. Nobody's going to know what you're talking about. Nobody's going to know, because you are putting out so much stuff that you're going to flood the market with it, and that's not good. Well, no, because you got to think about the movement, guys. Short Porch is building. There's no such thing, and I've said this in the past, there's no such thing as one bat fits everybody. So what Short Porch is bringing to the table is different weight distributions. They're different handle flex. They got a no flex handle, and they got another handle that is their handle that nobody else has. I've talked about it in the past. And then they got barrel flex. So if you got high bat speed, this bat would be better for you. You have low bat speed, this bat would be better for you. You know, if you got high bat speed, you should not pick up a low bat speed, because it'll be hot for about 100 swings. It's going to blow up. You know, so those are just information. That's the information that I can pass on to you guys. Another thing too is transparency. Moving forward, like the guys, nobody, this is groundbreaking shit here. Nobody's done this. Talking about this is putting a bat in your hands, because you can not necessarily what feels good in your hands, because you can fix that. Get a bat that matches, you know, your your barrel flex, your bat speed. And then you, knowing that number, your weight distribution number too, you can actually swing that bat a lot during the off season that's coming up, and that bat will feel good in your hands in a couple, 3 months. That's when I would get mad at people that would walk up to a 10 or something, and this guy would go, whatever feels good in your hands. Well, no, it's that because that bat feels, you're going to pick a bat out of that rack that feels good, as good as the bat you just got through swinging in the tournament. And you're going to, wow, and your Brian's, hey, this feels good. This feels good. Yeah, because the weight distribution numbers are the same as what you just left. But what if the barrel is not as soft as you would like it, because that one you were swinging has a softer barrel? What about the handle flex is not flexing for you? What if say you got 50-mile-an-hour bat speed and that's a no flex handle? See, it's not going to be good for you. So what Short Porch is bringing, for one, transparency and knowledge for number two. That way you know what best bat actually fits your bat speed. And guys, I've been preaching this for a long time. Short Porch has been preaching this for a long time. And it's a movement that, here's the deal. You guys want to get on it. You want to get onto that's fine. If you don't, then we're going to do our thing. And it's going to be here for a while. When you're changing, when you're breaking the mold, it takes a while for people to catch on to that. What's up, Kurt? It's taken a while for people to catch on to that, and I think we're headed in the right direction. We need more, I'm just reading off the chart, we need more podcasters. Like Denver was awesome. We won our division in 55 major. We fought hard against some good teams. I think every game, and my guys will come in here, every game that we played was a good game, and it was tight. We didn't run away. We didn't run away with anybody that was out there. Very competitive, and it was awesome. When they asked me to join Short Porch, I was like a kid in the candy store, because they're working on so much great tech, and the people. That's the one thing too, is the people. I get so not tired of just so many people out there that don't conduct themselves in the right way. That kind of burns me up a little bit. And I think when I looked at, because I vetted Short Porch too, and they have a bunch of great people that actually do a lot of things for people. That's the good thing too that I like about them. I'm gonna ramble here before I bring my guest on. A lot of you guys, and I'm going to take these clips from other stuff, but a lot of you guys, I'm going to kind of go all over the place here too. A lot of you guys talking, I pick up some things off of Facebook it's questions that people ask around. I'll kind of give you my opinion on them right now. A lot of people are talking about a 3-and-1 count. When you get in a 3-and-1 count, should you sit there and wait? Now, guys, I've been a pitcher for 30 plus years. I pitched U-Trip. I stayed away from ASA, but I pitched U-Trip. Wasn't bad at it either. I could carry a high average and pitch. So I wasn't this great at pitcher out there. I'm not saying that. I played on a lot of good teams. Well, we won a lot of good tournaments. I wasn't this self-proclaimed great person, but I could hit too. So carried a high average when I played with the aluminum bat days. A lot of guys were talking about a 3-and-1 count. And what would you do? I would definitely hit a 3-and-1 count, because, and another thing too, you've got to understand, if you're playing major plus and major, definitely hit a 3-and-1 count, because that's the best pitch you're going to get at that at bat, because he's not out there to try to walk you. Another thing too, a lot of these pitchers that play upper class or AA, AAA, all of them, they don't want to sit out there and walk people, so they'll feed you on a 3-and-1 count. Another thing too, I saw this last week, get set to hit the first good pitch. That's why I love a 1-and-1 count, guys. It gets you more aggressive. So in the mindset, like we're coming into, we got a couple more tournaments and then we're done for the year. Maybe, yes, definitely. What I want you to do, a lot of my guys are on here, AA, AAA, some major guys too. Your mindset whenever you're in the off season is because there's a 1-and-1 count. It ain't going away, guys. You guys can sit up here and bitch and moan about a 1-and-1 count. You want it to go back. It ain't going away, and nor do I think it should, because you're very aggressive. When you play softball, you want to get right. There you go, Rocky Mountain Bus Sales. That's who I used to play for. And at ERA too, out of Denver. Rocky Mountain Bus Sales out of Monument. And the 1-and-1 count, it makes you very aggressive. You want to be aggressive playing softball. So definitely work on that in the off season. Go up there and know what pitch is your pitch, and if he feeds it to you, doesn't matter if it's 0-0 count or whatever, a 1-and-1 count. He pitches you that ball, you smoke it. Your batting average will actually go up, at the end of the tournament. And basically, that's what you want to carry, a high batting average at that tournament. 3-and-1 count, you get up there, you look at the situation. If he's struggling, and I can see, guys, if he's struggling, I can understand that. Then you kind of wait back a little bit because you want to help your team and you want to get on base. So I think different when it comes to that, but you got to keep engaged with the game too. But they're feeding you on a 3-and-1 count, and guys, you need to get set to hit that. You need to get locked in, I should say. Once you step in that box on a 3-and-1 count, or you just out there, he's going to throw it right down the pipe and you smoke him. And don't listen to the bullshit in the dugout when everything. You hit a 3-and-1 count? No, because those guys just don't know what they're talking about when it comes to that. But definitely, you'll find out your batting average goes up. I love going on a 1-and-1 count because you walk in there on a 1-and-1 count and you actually are geared up to hit that first pitch if it's there. Hit that first pitch if it's there. I just wanted to throw that in there, kind of mess you guys up a little bit. Ladies, we have a bat coming out for you girls. I did talk to a couple of ladies when I was up in Denver about the new bats that are coming out from Short Porch. Cherry Bomb. It's designed with a softer barrel. It is a very good bat for the ladies. That bat will be out before Vegas. We'll be hitting that bat before Vegas, and I'll kind of go after Murray comes in. I'll kind of go over the bats that are going to come out and the order they're going to come out after Murray gets kind of tuned in here. But definitely, for the first time, in my opinion, a bat company is focusing on the ladies as much as the men, and I think that's pretty badass because there's a lot of senior ladies out there that are playing. Look, I guess she heard me. Tabby just joined in. There's a lot of ladies out there that have been at a disadvantage for years, either swinging a U-trip bat or a senior bat, and they've been at a disadvantage. Short Porch is going to fix that for you ladies out there, and they're going to put out some good product for you girls. And their merch is pretty badass too. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm getting my hydration going tonight. That one says bats. I don't talk about bats. I'll talk about bats later. Those are, I've already talked about that. Murray, are you watching? Because I can actually come talk about you right now and talk about all this other stuff whenever you, I've actually talked about that. If you guys, here's another thing too. If you guys, Terry, you're going to be in Vegas. They'll be up there in Vegas too. If you guys, the one thing I am going to post on my Facebook page that you guys are looking at right now, join that Facebook page because I just put something in there about creatine and the brain. Creatine and older people. And in that video, this is my creatine. Love this creatine. I love this creatine. And guys, I'm going to be posting videos that I actually see and has great knowledge in it. I'm going to post those on my Facebook page. And it basically talks about what creatine does to your body. It's been proven to be some pretty good shit for the brain, especially as you get older. So And basically I've been hard on creatine for 2 months right now, and I've gained some size, I've gained some strength and some stamina, um, and it just very good for your body. It's not that bad. A lot of people say that their doctor took them off creatine because the creatinine levels go higher. Guys, it does go higher. And in that video, it kind of explains why it goes higher, and it doesn't mean anything. A lot of doctors, guys will call me and say, my doctor took me off creatine. Well, because your creatinine levels are higher. Yeah, no, it doesn't mean because when your creatinine levels go higher, they think you have kidney failure. No, it's just you're consuming a lot of creatine, so it shows up in your creatinine levels. It doesn't mean anything. Tell your doctor I'm on creatine. That's what I do all the time. Hey, I'm on creatine. Those are going to be, let them know. If you're on creatine, hey, that's going to be a little higher, so don't be alarmed when it comes out. I don't have kidney failure. So I hope Murray's watching because I can bring him on. Look at him. Look at him. Clem, are you not watching him? So yes, definitely.
Hey.
Murr!
Hey, I'm sideways.
Hey, no way. No way, Murr. Did not give you a hat the other day? I gave you
Yeah, you did.
You're wearing that hat.
It's going to change. But am I sideways on yours? I'm sideways
No,
on
you're
mine.
actually great on mine, dude.
Okay.
You're great.
I'm sideways on mine. But...
Are you sideways on yours?
Yeah.
No, you're straight up and down on mine.
Okay. I just won't look at me. Make me
Yeah,
dizzy.
don't look at yourself. Just look at that little round thing that's there on the side. Everybody, this is Murray Williams. Let me tell a little story here. In 2009, when I first got into senior softball, I wanted to, and I recommend a lot of people out there do this. So I had been training for a year at 48. So 2009, I was 49, going to be 50 that year. And I did not know where to go to. I really didn't want, I really didn't want to play in San Antonio. I wanted to travel and play because I've traveled in the past and I love it. I love getting out of state of Texas. And I wanted to join teams that did that. So I went to SSUSA and I got on their website because I found SSUSA and I got on their website and I put in there where it says players looking for teams, and they have another one where it says teams looking for players. So my first contact was you. You actually got a hold of me and told me, hey, you looking, and you got some background from me. And, I told you I've been retired for 10 years. Finally started training to play senior of the year. I want to get back into it because I was overweight, unhealthy, and I was overweight, and I knew that I couldn't keep doing this and live long. So I wanted to get out there and do some running around like I'd done 10 years earlier. And I just missed the game too. So you actually had me come out in Austin. This was with The Rock, right?
Yeah.
It was The Rock out of Austin, and Murray met me there. And I go up there and I said, were they AAA or major at the time? Do you know?
I think we were AAA at the time. We kept getting moved back and forth between AAA and major, AAA.
Yeah. And then I met those guys, great bunch of guys, but Murray was on the team, and I'm like, Murray, that was 15 years ago. So, 55, you were about 55, 56, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I mean, it was awesome. We got to go to Phoenix that year, I think. We played in Phoenix, and then I think what happened, it might have been that year or the next year, I ruptured my right Achilles. I tore my right.
The next year in Georgia.
Yeah, I came back in better shape the next year, and I just we were playing a game in Austin, and I just snapped it, and I was out for 8 months. And I think I'd made Phoenix at the end of the year, Vegas at the end of the year for that one because they had a big Vegas. It was Phoenix at the end of that year,
Phoenix,
I think.
Was the Vegas at that time. It was the Worlds,
and I played that with you guys. The one thing I will say is about you is you don't talk much. I mean, you actually are a student of the game, and you out there. And the one thing that you were always, and I did not know this about you, and I respect you for this too, Murray. is that you knew a lot of shit. You knew about weight distribution. You knew about flex. You knew all that stuff, and you would say things that I'd listen to, and I'd say things that you would listen to, and we would just talk it. And the one thing I do remember is I had a barbecue over the house. I had a barbecue for everybody because they were playing in San Antonio, and Murray comes in. He doesn't want my barbecue, but he came in. Well, you had a salmon or something. You know,
Yeah,
it's all made up, and you had some broccoli or something,
yeah,
and you threw it on.
I was a pescatarian diet at that time.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, Murray bringing his own food from Austin, and I didn't get to eat any of it though. I think you all left it for you. But the one thing that you never talked about what you did in the past. And I don't even think I asked. I really didn't care. You know, I just thought that the way you played back then, I thought was the same way you actually play right now. I think we talked about this the other day, is you're a little healthier now than you were back then.
Yeah, I was having a lot of knee problems back then.
Yes.
And that was affecting everything. Because I couldn't work out. I couldn't take batting practice. And so my back started, the only thing I did was went to games and tried to play, and it screwed up my back. And, you know, it took me 2-3 years too long to get my first knee replacement.
Yeah.
Wish I would have done it sooner.
And then when did you have the next one? Because you've had both knee
Yeah, I had my right one. My right one, I'd had 3 arthroscopic surgeries before. The first one was when I was in my mid-20s, and I heard it, and I went to an aggressive surgeon. I never should have had that first operation because he took out a whole bunch of cartilage, and so it never felt good after that. I think I could have just rehabbed it without the surgery.
Yeah.
And then, must have been about 12 or 13 years ago now, I had a partial knee replacement on my right knee. The outer part was still my real knee. And that lasted for about 7 years, and then it started hurting again. And I got a total replacement on that knee. And my left knee was always great because every time they did an x-ray of my right knee, they do the left knee too. And they say, oh, there's a lot of cartilage there, a lot of cartilage. And I broke my ankle, got hit by a batted ball, broke my ankle. And when my ankle healed, I think my leg was just slightly shorter than it was. And my left knee just went bad just within a matter of 3 months.
Yeah.
And so I had to get that replaced later on. And ever since I got the both total replacements, my knees never bother me anymore. Not at all. I mean, I just wish I would have done that first one sooner.
Wasn't that a high ankle break?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you sent me the picture of that. Yeah, you snapped it good.
Yeah.
And that was that line drive. You're playing first. How old are you, Murray?
I just turned 70 not too long ago.
Okay, so you're 70 years old. I want everybody to know that because a lot of them see you in the video, but I just want everybody to know how old you are.
Okay.
So you rehabbed your knees, right?
Yeah, I did. And I got better each time. I got back quicker because I knew what to do and what not to do each time.
Yeah.
Because by the third one, I was hitting again a month later.
Wow.
On it. But I wasn't able to run very good and everything. But I got my range of motion back faster that third one. In half the time, I got my range of motion back on the second one.
Yeah.
And just because I knew where to push and where not to push.
On that, whenever we talked about, well, I've actually asked you this a lot of times about your workout routine. For one, you eat good. I know. You kind of stay with a good diet. I don't ever see you. Well, I know you eat a lot of oysters. That's one thing too. But on your workout routine too is when you went through knee replacement surgery, a lot of people don't understand is you have to go to rehab.
Yeah.
You've got to do all that stuff. I know it hurts and everything, but you just got to go that. You got to take supplements. You got to do all that stuff because your body, I mean, you know that at your age is not going to be absorbing a lot of that supplement.
Yeah, what's kind of funny is it takes so much energy for your body to recover from that. I would actually lose weight after a knee replacement for the first 3-4 weeks where I wasn't really doing much. I was kind of sitting around and I do my rehab. Actually, most of the day I was just sitting around, and I ended up losing like 10 pounds that first 3 or 4 weeks after a knee replacement, just because your body is
trying to
doing so much to repair it.
Yeah. Workout routine. A lot of people watch you, and this is the deal where that I get, and a lot of people talk about you, is Murray's a freak. Murray's a freak. And at 70 years old to do what you do, you got to have a perfect storm. You got to have genetics for one. You know, you've got to know what you're doing when it comes to workouts, nutrition, supplementation. What is your workout routine for a lot of these guys out there that just want to know what does Murray do? You know, like when you wake up in the morning, you eat breakfast. You know, what do you eat? Just little things like that. You know.
Well, kind of embarrassed to say my workout routine has not been very good lately. Before COVID, I was going to the office every day. I'd have a good routine every day at lunch. I'd go out and I'd work out. We had a little gym in our office space. I'd work out there. And since then, when I started working from home, I got really sporadic at doing it. I'd say, well, maybe I'll do it, a couple hours later. I'll do it a couple hours later. And, I ended up not going. And then I started trying to get back into it this spring. And I got so sore because I hadn't been doing it that it was affecting my batting. I said, I'm just going to wait until after the year's over, and then I'm going to really hit it hard after Vegas. Because before I was working out 4 or 5 days a week, and what I was doing, I wasn't getting sore because I was doing it so often. I wouldn't get sore. I was still gaining muscle and feeling good from it. But I guess 70 years old, when you start up again, your body just doesn't like it.
See, it's so hard to do that at that age. I'm getting there right now. I just started working out really hard about 2.5 months ago, and it was hard, Murray. It was like, half of me just didn't want to do it. And my gym is in my garage right here.
Yeah.
And I've got a pretty good gym in there to do everything that I need to do. It was just so hard for me to get motivated to do it because I knew I was going to get sore. I knew I was going to do all that stuff. Let me go backwards here. I did not know this, man, and I had asked you. I've known you for 15 years, Murray. I played with you when I first started, and then I went with Crush, and then you came to Crush later. And I think those were the two teams that actually we played together for a few years.
Yeah.
And I did not know this about you because you don't talk about it, but you're a nuclear physicist. So, and you were in the Navy, right? Or were you in the Navy?
Yeah, I was in the Navy.
And you were actually an instructor for nuclear subs.
The people who go on nuclear subs and destroyers would go through a 6-month program where they have to learn physics and chemistry and radiology and heat transfer and stuff like that. And it's kind of a funny story. I was living in Kansas City at the time, and we'd been married. My wife and I had been married about 5 or 6 years. She's a school teacher, and we were getting tired of cold winters. So we got to move south. She saw an ad in the paper that school teachers wanted Orlando, Florida. And so she called, and then later she said, Murray, you need to call this guy. They needed somebody with a little more physics and math than I have. And I said, I don't want to join the Navy. I had kind of long hair at the time. And I said, I'm not going to join the Navy. He said, well, just go talk to the guy. So I went and talked to the guy, and I said, I don't think I want to do this. He said, well, go to Washington, D.C. and have an interview with Admiral Rickover, who was the father of the nuclear Navy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go, but I'm probably not going to do it. So I went through the interviews, and at the end, they were pressuring me to sign. I said, no, I don't think I want to do this.
Yeah.
And so I went back home. That was like the end of August. September 15th of that year, the law was going to change where when you went into this program, you went in as ensign instead of Lieutenant JG. Lieutenant JG is the second officer rank. So you go in as a 01 if you waited until after September 15th. So September 14th, about 10 o'clock at night, I signed the paper, said, okay, I'll go do it. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do it, I don't talk a lot. And I thought, well, being forced to stand up there in front of people and teach, that would probably help me some. It did help a lot. I mean, before I felt really, really uncomfortable talking in front of people or to a group. Now I don't. I just don't do a lot of it, but I don't feel uncomfortable like I did then.
That's a hard thing to achieve, isn't it? I mean, at the beginning. And like I told my kids, because I want my kids to do that too. And I want my kids to get in front of people. I said, you got to do it. Just get out there and start. And at the beginning, it's going to be hard, but it gets pretty quick. It gets pretty good,
Right.
where you can handle all that.
Yeah.
My wife won't do it. Tammy won't do it. I mean, you know my wife. She won't do it. And she was in a high. She was pretty high up with the Spurs, and she would have to get in those and talk to a group of 2,000 people, 3,000 people, and she just hated it. She did not want to do it. She'd gear herself up the night before, and she'd be up there, I'm like, okay, and I'll try to coach her along, but she wouldn't listen to me anyway. But I never knew that you did all this, and I want to leave. That's another thing to you guys. Tomorrow night, Matt Barnes is going to have Murray on again, and I don't want to steal any of this stuff, so I'm not going to go in deep on what he's going to talk to you about. I'll kind of leave some stuff in there for him, but I never knew. The one thing I will say about you, Murray, I always had the utmost respect for you. You were the gentleman. You carried yourself on the team that I played on as a gentleman, and you were a competitor though. You wanted to win at and you would play. I remember playing with Austin Rock, and you went to third base and didn't say anything about it because we lost our third baseman. You went to third base at a big tournament, and you played it solid. And I was like, and didn't say anything. Went back in the dugout and just hold on. And you're not that talker guy. That's how come and hell, you've been at my house, and I never knew that you were a nuclear physicist, and you actually were instructor with the Navy. And I'm like, the way I found out about that is, I think you had sent me over your resume or your bio, because I wanted to have this going on. We had planned this about a month ago or 2 months ago, and I wanted to talk about it. When I got it, it was like what'd you send me over, like a 10-page bio?
Well, it's just stuff I already had together. I just sent it all.
And you'd already had it set up for whenever you're in the Hall of Fame. Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
That was recently, right? That you got.
That was 2020.
2020. And then this is the same bio from there, but guys, it's like I was reading it the other day, and I'm like, holy shit. And I was telling my wife, I was telling Tammy, did you know this? Did he ever talk to you about this? And she goes, no. And she goes, let me see it. She looks at it, she goes, holy shit. Like, he did all that and never even talked about it, never said anything about it. And the one thing I like, when I found this out the other day, we were at Denver, and we were in between games, and I was over there talking to you, and I said, did you read that text with Mayo put up about mass and energy and bat and miles per hour? And you were right there telling me, okay, yes, what he says does, but there's a point, like we talked about this when we were there, because you have me that's learned this shit, and you that I can bounce ideas off of. And then I actually said, but if you go below so many miles per hour, you lose it.
Right.
And you were saying, exactly, you do lose it if you go under so many miles per hour. So here I am with Short Porch, because I'm bouncing ideas off them, and I'm talking to them, and I have another guy that I can bounce ideas. I'd have been bouncing shit off of you 15 years ago, so I'm kind of upset with you that you didn't tell me that you knew all this physics shit. And I'm like, I've been talking to Murray about this on the phone, going, hey, this is what I'm getting. What do you think? And then, because we talked about it for a short time before our game the other day. But yeah, and you were saying, yeah, but you have to keep the miles per hour up when you're swinging a heavy bat. You got to keep those miles per hour up. You cannot go below so many miles per hour. You're going to lose the distance.
Right, because that example you gave of a 28-ounce bat versus 26-ounce bat, that's about 7% difference between the two.
Yeah.
So if your speed drops by more than 7%, you're going to be hurting yourself by swinging the heavier bat than the lighter bat.
Yeah, definitely. See, a lot of people
don't. The momentum is mass times velocity, and that's not perfect for hitting a ball, but that's a lot of what you want to do and transfer the momentum from the bat to the ball.
Yeah.
And it depends on the mass and the speed, both of them. So if one goes up, the one goes down, and you need to figure out, what's the point where
what's the formula for your bat speed, basically, is what you're going to do.
Right.
And we agreed on that. And I said, okay, I had to run it by you. And I go, okay, so you agree with what I'm saying? You're like, yeah, you're right, because there's going to be a time in there where one's going to go, you can go higher or you can go lower, depending on what your bat speed is and what you can handle with your bat speed. And I go, okay, I just wanted to check with you because I'm out there spewing stuff to everybody on what I think, and I'm wrong, because I do double check all that stuff, and what better person to double check it with.
Yeah. And another thing is the consistency too. I mean, if you have to just put everything you can in it to get that heavier bat to go through, and you can't repeat that every time, then it's not as good as going to lower speed, lower bat weight.
Yeah, so your consistency is higher when you go lower.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So the
Unless
heavy bat is your consistent
unless there's some guys out there that are really, really strong and they
male.
can swing the air bat perfectly
Yeah.
fine.
And the guy that talked about it in which he was right, but he's also 6'8", you
Oh, is
know,
it?
260 pounds. And he used to play big time. He was big time softball back in the day. And to this day, still a big man and a very strong man. So I could not swing a 28-ounce bat, you know. Yeah, exactly, unless you're a freak. And there's not a lot of those out there in AA and
Yeah.
AAA. So yeah, that's that. I like when I'm when it comes to you is that you enjoy the game of softball, and like I said, I'm kind of mad right now because I've been bouncing the shit off you years ago, and because I played with you, I was in a dugout with you, and but when I talked to you the other day about it, you just started rattling stuff off, and you actually put a formula up too. Whenever I put that post up, you put a formula on there that it actually I didn't even know what the hell it was, but you talking, I guess that's the ratio on when it comes to speed and mass and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
bat speed and stuff like that. You eat pretty good. So basically, what kind of supplements, Murray? What kind of over-the-counter
Uh,
supplements?
I take my dad, who was a physician, always said I had the most expensive urine in Austin because I take all these supplements, and he thinks I was overdoing everything. But
Yeah.
I may have been, but I mean, it was just money that I could afford. I mean, if I was just wasting my money, what happened to me a lot is I'd read about a supplement and say, "Oh, that sounds pretty. I'll take that." Next month I'd read about another. Oh, I'll take that. Before I knew it, I was taking like 30 supplements. I take a lot of the ones you do. I take some for the what can't I think of the word right now,
Uh,
for inflammation. I take a lot for inflammation because
turmeric?
one of the things I do have, I've got a lot of arthritis in my body.
Yeah.
When I went to the doctor, he said, well, some people, they've got diabetes or cancers. Your problem is arthritic. So every time I go in and get an x-ray or MRI on a different body part, they say, oh, you got a lot of arthritis. Oh, is that kind of normal for someone my age? No, it's much worse. So I didn't really want to hear about that. But I take curcumin, turmeric and curcumin, hyaluronic acid, and some other stuff for the inflammation. I
How
take,
much? Okay, this is another thing too. On the turmeric, how much do you take? Curcumin,
yeah,
basically same thing, right?
yeah. Uh,
Milligrams.
I'd have to
I
look
heard that the more you take, the better.
yeah, I'd have to look at the milligrams. I'm not sure where they are, but I take 2 in the morning and 2 at night. So I'm getting, I don't know how much it is, but
About
it's quite a
2,000.
bit.
I bet you're taking about 2,000 milligrams a day.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere
Which is like
around there. Maybe
that's
sometimes
preferred. A lot of people are taking too low a dose of turmeric or curcumin.
Yeah.
And they're taking it 500 a day. I always was told 2,000 to 3,000 a day for inflammation, and it does work. I mean, but you got to take just high doses of it.
Right. I take vitamin D3 and K2 and magnesium, vitamin C. I take collagen. I was taking that when I had my knee replacement. I just kept on taking it.
Oh, that's awesome too. Whenever you guys have any surgeries out there, collagen is one of the best things you can actually take, even supplementing with collagen. And if you can bake chicken, like there's a lot of collagen in baked chicken. So if you're going to bake chicken and have that collagen that's in, because collagen is that clear stuff that's in the bottom when you bake chicken, and it's not fat, it's collagen. And if you can get that down you somehow, that's actually helps your body repair a lot faster too.
Yeah, I actually got that from you. I heard you talking about
years ago.
Yeah,
I mean, that was
when
years
you were having
ago
your
that I talked
Achilles.
about that. Yes. And I came back in 5 months. I was playing ball when I tore my Achilles and they attached it because it was a complete tear. And when they attached it, the guy told me, he said, you can start playing in 5 months. I go, wow, I was told a year. No, it's about 5 months because he was a good doctor. If you do everything I tell you to do, about 6 months, you'll be out. And, you'll still walk with a limp, but you'll be pretty good where you can play. And it ain't gonna snap by then. But I was playing with you guys in 5 months. You remember I did have a limp because it was off my push leg. And I did have a limp, but I was taking all kind of stuff to get that thing where it heal up fast because I wanted to play ball at the end of the year with you guys. But yeah, that was how how we learn everything, Murray, is we do a lot of research. I do a lot of research. And Lee said it a minute ago. What I would do is, like tonight, after I'm done, I'll go upstairs and do some video, and I'll get on YouTube and I'll start looking at different supplements, and I'll start listening to what they have to say. And I say, hey, I'm going to try this stuff. So I'd get on Amazon or whatever, or I'd get on their website and I would order it, and I would try it. And if it worked, I would talk about it. If it didn't work, I'll try it at least twice, get 2 bottles of it. And if it didn't work, then I'm saying, okay, that wasn't for me, or it didn't work with me. So I would actually experiment. And that's how come, for a long time. And I've been doing this before. I was playing senior ball. I was actually doing most of I take a lot of, back in the day, it was liver pills. I don't know if you remember that. Like, it was 40 years ago. I would take a lot of liver pills during the day, and from cattle, and that's just something I went through back in the day that I would do. I never really felt a difference in it. But hell, I've been taking creatine for 34 years now, and I have not had any kind of thing going on. I've had I get blood work done every 3 months. Do you give blood too, right?
Yeah, I do. I do.
At least
I do it every, I do the double red, where they fill back in the plasma and the white blood cells.
Yeah.
But you only have to go half as often to do that. And so that helps bring my creatinine levels down. What you were talking before about that, same thing. I had a doctor that
hemoglobin.
My primary doctor wasn't concerned, because he knew I was taking creatine. He knew that I was working out a lot. He knew I was a little bigger guy. And he said, just give blood every once in a while to lower that. And then I decided finally last year, maybe the year before, to go to a kidney doctor just to check things out. Because
yes,
with my knee pain, I had probably about 6 or 7 years where I was just eating ibuprofen like candy.
Yeah,
and that's not good for your kidneys.
No, it's not.
So I wanted to make sure my kidneys were okay, and they were. I went through and I actually did there's another test you can do for creatine. It's called a creatine clearance, where they look at how much is in your blood versus how much you expel in your urine over a 24-hour period. And they look at the ratio, and the ratio is supposed to be a certain value. And I did that, and my filtering rate was actually much higher than it was on the high end of normal, which was really good. When you just looked at the blood, though, it looked like my kidneys weren't filtering out the creatine.
Yeah.
And so that helped a lot. But my kidney doctor, the only thing he told me is, don't take any more ibuprofen ever in your life. He said, you've taken too much, you're going to risk hurting your kidneys. So I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. But I want to, and I wouldn't even mind having you come on at least once a month either, Murray, and basically educate a lot of the seniors out there. And we talked about this earlier today too, is the awareness to seniors out there to just get up and start doing something, even if it's small.
Yeah.
To start.
I mean, that's huge. I mean, because like I said, that I've got a lot of arthritis, but the best thing for that is to move.
Yeah.
It may hurt at first. When I get up from sitting down, I look like a 90-year-old man. I'm punched over for the first 3 or 4 steps, and then I'll straighten up and I'll feel a little better. But the movement makes a huge difference. Just whatever you can do, just go through moving. Even when I was in pretty bad shape with my knees and stuff, I still tried to move as much as I could, and it makes it hurts at first, but it loosens things up, and you actually feel better after you do that.
I played with you years ago, and I remember the bad knee days, but you still fought. You didn't say shit. You just went through the tournament and played. A lot of people didn't realize that you were hurting, but this year and even last year, I was like, damn, what is Murray doing? Because he's just smoking the ball. Last 2 years, I think, is you've just been smoking the ball everywhere that you do, everything that you do. And you've been hitting with us. You've been hitting with us too. And one thing I admire is you're a cutter. Not too many people know how to cut the ball basically like you do. And you're a hard cutter. Like, you come down and you strike the ball downward and you cut it where it gets that golf shot. Plus you got, for a 7-year-old guy, you have home run power. We talked about sort of, who do you play with? You play with 3 different teams?
Well, it was 4, and then the 55 team kind of broke up middle of the year. But Crush is my main team. I play 60s and 65s with them. And I was playing 55 with DLB Major Plus out of Pittsburgh area.
Yeah.
And then I'm playing 70s with Timberworks Major Plus out of California.
So that's a lot of traveling.
Yeah, a lot of travel. And that's the one thing I say, that what's going to make me leave softball eventually is not the games, it's the travel and the sitting around waiting to play a game.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
traveling to a tournament's okay, but traveling home, that's not much fun anymore.
how does the family feel about that? You got to have a wife
Yeah,
or
she's
somebody
fine.
that,
She has her own stuff she does.
yeah.
And, you know, she doesn't go to any tournaments. The last tournament she went to was when they're playing in St. George because of COVID. And so we decided, well, let's take a few days afterwards and go to Zion National Park and go around. And then, you know, our good friend Tony got all of us, gave COVID to everybody.
Oh, that's
And,
right. He did.
yeah.
That was at the.
She came at the. I played 60s with Crush, and then I was playing at that point 65 with Timberworks. We played Crush through the weekend and Timberworks Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And she got there that Tuesday, and I found out Tuesday that I had COVID. And so we got her a separate hotel room. She flew home the next day, and then I drove home. It took me 3 days to go home, and I was at that time COVID was pretty new, so I never didn't know how it was going to affect me. So I wanted to make sure every night I stayed in a pretty major city, so that if I did have to go to the hospital, I'd be right there.
Yeah.
But I was pretty lucky. All I had was I was tired for about a week. I lost my sense of smell. The funny thing is, during a tournament, after I found out that Tony had COVID, I'd go into the bathroom. I go, I still smell shit and piss. So I'm good. and finally, the last day, I can't smell anything.
Couldn't smell anything.
Yeah, I can't smell anything.
How many people got COVID that weekend?
We had.
It was a lot, right?
Like almost 20, like 15 to 20.
Yes.
On our between the 60 Crush team and the 55 Crush team.
Yeah. Well,
and then he also affected some people from other teams too.
Everybody, I got back in this, and I didn't get it because I already had COVID. So I think I had that. I still had the antibodies for the COVID. So I was talking to him like this the whole time we were on the field and we were hitting, and he was right in my face. And I was talking to him, and everybody got COVID. But I already 3 months before I had been in a hospital for COVID, so I already had the antibodies, and I wasn't going to get it. But they were all freaking out. They were getting their ball bags at home, and they're taking them out and spraying them all down and cleaning them down to the car wash. And I go, guys, it's already. You don't have to do that, man, because the sun's going to kill it.
Yeah,
that's what nobody knew about it, though,
right.
Murray.
Now, I was so mad at myself during that tournament because the whole year long, I was extremely careful. I would rent a car, only me. Hotel room, only me. Go out to eat, I just get it and bring it back to the room. The only time I was around people was during the games. I was, distancing. And then at Vegas, our coach John Rhodes said, "Hey, Murray, come on down and let's have a beer." I said, "Okay, I'll come down to your room and have a beer." Tony was in there. I was in there for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and then that's where I got it.
I go walking into where was it? At Cracker Barrel, and John was there with Tony, and it was the older guys. Was it the 65s? Were all at that table, and John was like, "Hey, come on, sit with us." I said, "No, I like sitting by myself and eating. I'm gonna go in the back." And everybody at that table got COVID because Tony was at the table. But here's the deal, guys. He was in the hospital for 2 months or a month and a half.
It was I think it was almost a month, I think.
He was in the hospital?
Yeah, he was in the hospital in St. George. They almost, one day they were going to intubate him, but they decided not to. But he was close to death, I think.
He still has.
Yeah, he still has problems from that.
Problems
breathing.
About the breathing.
If he runs very much, he gets out of breath and has a hard time.
Yeah, he's an outfielder.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I talked to him about it when he came down here to hit with us because he's from up north with us, Canyon Lake area. And I was talking to him about it, and he asked me if I got any. And I'm like, no, but I wasn't in a hospital for a month or 2 months like you were. And he goes, it's hard for me and him to catch his breath.
Yeah.
But I had everything checked. I had my heart checked. I had my lungs checked, and everything came out normal. But it hit him pretty hard. I mean, it did. Really did.
And it's kind of funny because he's a pretty healthy guy. He's not overweight. He's pretty healthy. So I think my opinion is that the amount you get exposed to makes a huge difference. Because I was only in there for like 20 minutes, and so I got it, but I wasn't bad. But I think Larry Carter was around a lot because Tony was in the room with them, and I think he had one of the massage guns and was working on his leg or something. And Larry was pretty sick afterwards too.
Yeah, it was good to see Larry out And
Yeah, it
good,
is.
and it was good to see Larry healthy, and it was good to see him swinging the way he was swinging years ago,
Yeah.
because he loves the game. You know, he
Yeah, he's
talked
a great
about
guy too.
retiring. He talked about retiring a couple of years ago, but I seen him in Denver, and I was like, damn. And he looked good. He looked
Yeah.
good, you know. And I know he's been fighting health issues, but he's excited about playing again, and he'll be in Vegas. But just to see him healthy, and I think he hit a bomb at one of y'all guys' game, like really far. So it's good to see him out there. And I think he pinched hit in our game when we were playing y'all, and he
Yeah,
got
he
a
pitched in
base.
your game, got a hit.
Yeah,
That was
got a
it.
hit, and just same old Larry. You know, I'm
Yeah.
happy. That's a good guy
Yeah.
too. I mean, I highly respect that man just by what he's done. But hell, Murray, the announcement I want to make tonight, and we talked about this earlier, is, and I want everybody to hear this. Murray is going to be a signature contract player for Short Porch going forward from here on out. I like the way you did that, man. And you didn't tell me you were going to do that
Yeah.
earlier. But Murray is a Short Porch guy now.
Yeah, I can't see there my shirt. I
Oh,
don't really
there's
see
his shirt now too. So what happened was I got Murray, and this was kind of planned a little bit, where I knew, and I know how Short Porch does this because I've talked to him for hours about this, is the integrity of the people that they actually have. And whenever they were talking about somebody down here in Texas, and I got you to hit with us, and just that your athletic ability, and that 70-year-old, and what you do, health, nutrition. You don't get in fights. You don't yell at people. You're not on social media arguing with people. And we talked about this, about, there's a lot of people out there that have an image to uphold. And I think what better person than Murray? And I talked to Jeff Kessler and Christian and Leslie about this. What other person than Murray Williams? Because he can talk to people, and talk to the 70-year-olds in the AA and the AAA that want to gain knowledge. And you're that guy, and I've seen you do this, Murray, where you sit there and talk to somebody about just different things, about how to better health and better nutrition. I think that's what Short Porch is looking for. So whenever I invited you to come out, and you've been hitting with us for a while, but more recently you've been hitting with us, and I was trying to stick you with a bat, because there's one bat you swung, and I was trying to get you away from it, because I was trying to tell you, I think you would be better if you swung this bat. So we were kind of going back and forth whenever you were out there about, okay, but this is what I think your bat speed is. And we even brainstormed on that,
Right.
maybe a little bit more stiffer handle, and Short Porch offers that, right? So it's not a bat that you're picking at everybody else swings. It's a bat that actually fits your swing because of your bat speed and your barrel flex and your handle flex, and put you in that bat to better help you. And the one thing that I got you with was forgiveness. And we talked about this. The bat you were swinging was in as forgiving as a Short Porch bat. And we were going back and forth on this, and I like talking to you about this too. And I'm happy that you're on the team now, is because I can bounce ideas off you because of your knowledge about the game and knowledge about physics and stuff like that, that you'll be here where I can talk about that. And somebody to hang out with here, and you're going to hit with us here on forward on the new stuff that's coming out. And just like you were talking about that Kevlar bat the other day.
Yeah, that's probably the one thing that convinced me to go to Short Porch, because that bat it's the best bat I've ever swung in my life.
Yeah,
And
the
ball just going 30 feet farther off that bat than other bats.
you remember we said it's hard to pick up one of those other bats, because it's like, why? Because you actually teased us with this one. Now we're going to have to go back to swinging these other bats.
Yeah. The other bats are really good too.
Yeah, but this one is
just
just so much, and it's forgiving, and you can mishit it, and you're a cutter, and you can spin it really good, and you were getting tremendous distance on it. And then I start talking about forgiveness, like I'm talking about other bats out there, and I won't do this on camera, but I was talking to you about, okay, this bat, you notice that if you hit it more toward the end, it makes that sound, and it doesn't give you that much of a flex. And you're like, exactly. Right. I said, but do it off a Brewtown with a stiffer handle, do it off of a wig popper, which that gray wig popper that you like. little bit more flexy handle, but that whole barrel is very forgiving. So I think that too, you're like, whoo, he's right. You know, you would miss hit balls that you thought that wouldn't go anywhere, and we're hitting on a baseball field, and it would just fly, and you're like, okay, I think I'm gonna like this stuff, you know. And you can't count Denver in any of your batting averages or anything like that, because I didn't read, you're talking about why in Denver, why in every year in Denver.
I don't know what it is about Denver, but I don't hit in Denver for some reason.
It's
I mean, I'd have good games and I have bad games. Yeah, it's just weird.
That's I think that's I haven't had a I haven't had a great tournament in Denver since I left Denver. So again, too, I mean, I think I batted 300 in Denver when I was with Crush, and you shouldn't do it there because the atmosphere, the air is 7,000 feet above sea level.
Sometimes
so, you know,
the infields are rock hard, so you hit a hard shot, not right at somebody's going to go through. But for some reason, the last 2 years I've sucked in Denver, and I came back pretty good after that. But but it's it's weird.
I'm happy. The guys that were, you know, that I talked to this morning, and this has been, you know, we had planned this for a while, but I know everybody on Short Porch is happy to have you. Basically, you know, because of the kind of person you are and the way you lived your life with senior softball, and you're an ambassador to the sport. I don't say that, you know, loosely, but no other person more deserving, I think, to do this with Short Porch is than you. You know,
well, I appreciate the opportunity, and like I think I told you, I wouldn't do it if I didn't think that they made really good bats. Because I'm at the point in my life where I can buy a bat if I need to. I don't need to have somebody give me free bats. But the Short Porch bats, I believe in those, and I think they're good bats. And because
the one thing
we had a mutual teammate who had his own bat made for him by another company. I'm not going to mention the company, but it was just a piece of shit bat.
Yeah.
And he'd hit balls, he'd square them up, hit them good. They go like 280 or 290. And I never wanted to be in a position like that where I had to swing a bat that wasn't very good because it had my name on it, and had to try to tell people, oh, buy this bat, it's got my name on it, it's a good bat. And it was a terrible bat.
We talked about that, remember? Because that was before we even talked about doing this, or I even talked to Jeff Kessler and Leslie about this. As you said, I don't, you know, I want the bat to, even for it to be in my hands, it's got to be a top tier bat. You know what I mean? It's got, and there's so many things that Short Porch has right now that will put you into that. And going toward Vegas, because all the new stuff that's coming out next week, I think you're going to love. And what the new thing, and I think I told you this the other day when I sent out a group text, is the new stuff coming out for next year. The new tech is Kevlar being introduced into a lot of his line of bats that are coming out for next year. And it's not going to be the same, and I'm not going to talk about it too much. You'll know about it later, but it's not going to be the same as the way they used to do Kevlar, because I don't know if you guys know this or not, they did introduce Kevlar into a lot of the bats from the 2016, 2017, but they never put Kevlar on the bat. They just, okay, this is how it's made. It's made with this, and it's layered in here. Jeff is a genius when it comes to this. Leslie with the polymers and the rosins and the mixtures, she's a genius at doing that too. And they come up with some good stuff. The deal that I like about it is they're breaking the mold, and they're new to this. You know, 3-4 years old, and they're new to this, and they well, actually a little longer than that, but 2017, I think it was their first, and they're new to it, and they're learning stuff at a fast pace. A lot of say, well, you guys are putting out a lot of bats. Well, hell yeah, we're putting out a lot of bats because they're learning shit every time they do a bat.
Right.
And they're expanding on it, and they're going, wow, let's do this, or wow, let's do that. That's why I think that, you know, and I told Clem and Trey this whenever they came along. It's going to something that y'all guys going to enjoy the next 2-3 years down the road, you know, and I think you will too. And what better person, Murray, than you to do it with us, because we are all good friends. And, you know, we said go breakfast after we eat in the mornings. Not saying you're going to make all of them, but, you know, we'll probably come up to you a lot of times too. And we talked about that, and going out and hitting an Austin with you someplace up there. but definitely I'm excited about announcing it. And I told those guys that I was going to do it tonight. But what better person, Murray? So what we're going to do now is just get you into, before Vegas, get you into something, it's probably going to be like a Brew Town, or maybe that Brandon Murray that's coming out this next week. And then the Manaya that's going to be out right before Vegas. You definitely will not be swinging my bat, but are the new wig popper that's coming out, because you did like a wig popper, because that's more of that lower bat speed person. I think your bat speed, like we talked about this, you need something with a little stiffer handle, something that you can't flex with it, pushing that, because you're a cutter, so you're gonna push that top. Cut that.
Yeah. Well, I was really impressed at Brewtown. We took it out for the first time in that baseball field 330 with wind blowing in, and the compression I think was 260 on it initially before any hits on it. And that bat, the balls are still going long ways
on that.
With that, even with that high compression.
That Brewtown is probably, want to hit it tomorrow again too, but that Brewtown is really, that David Ireland Brewtown. It's a good bat. It's a very good bat. They still have some available. I think Trey tried getting another one today. I don't know. You don't know these guys, but Shiner is swinging it now. That other one that
he was the first baseman for your team.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of bat you should be swinging, because Shiner, I don't know if it's Shiner or Shiner, but that guy is a monster. He's about as tall as you. Maybe you might be a little bit taller, but
I think he's taller. I think he's just taller, but he's also 15 years younger than me too. That makes sense.
He's like 55.
Yeah.
So, but he can swing it, and I got him to Brewtown, and he just smashing it. But I think of Brandon Murray. If he could swing that Brandon Murray, that would be better for him, because he's younger. It's got a 1 ounce envelope. And then John Randone called today, and he's a loyal other bat company guy. And he called today. Trey will actually vouch for this. When he called Trey first, because Trey tends to get bats faster than I do, and Merch faster than me, because he's got an inside thing with one of the owners. He talks to them, and he called today, and Randone wants to go to Short Porch, and Randone wants to swing the Brewtown. So he's trying to get a Brewtown from Trey today. So yeah, I mean, that's and you know what I did with Shiner? He was swinging 2 other bats, and I gave him that in Denver, and he just went out there and just hit him over the lights. He hit one over the lights with it, and he goes, "Okay, can you give me one heavier?" And I'm like, "Oh, dude, like that was a 26.5, I think." And he wanted a 27.5.
Yeah.
He goes, "They make them a 29.5." I said, "Man, I don't think so. You just he's a monster." But you're right on that Brandon Murray that's coming out. That's something I like you to swing next week. Is that Brandon Murray? I think you would love that, because of your bat speed that's going to be up there. Shiner would love that. I don't know. I'll let John Randone swing it, and a few other guys swing it. So basically, by Vegas, I'm gonna have probably 15 bats in my cart, and I'm gonna be letting people just do the same thing I did in Denver, is let them swing them and see what they like about it.
Yeah.
So that's the fun. That's gonna be the fun part about this, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna be the part about that because you love the sport. You wouldn't be in it that long to actually, if you didn't. But just the tech, and I know you're a tech guy too. So just the tech of learning all the new stuff that's coming out.
Yeah, the fun
in the future
part is getting to swing the new stuff that comes out. Like a Kevlar bat and other bats they release. The demos that we get, or the prototypes before they come out. It's good to see what's coming up and have some input on them and say, "Oh, this is a really good bat," or "Oh, this bat's whatever."
And the brainstorming, whenever, like we talked about that Kevlar bat, and just and I don't put those videos out anymore. It used to be called behind the scenes, but like when we were talking about that Kevlar bat hit on a baseball field, and you were kind of talking about, wow, this is different stuff here. I've never hit anything like this, and just the way it is, it's got a little bit thinner handle on it. And he just told me this morning, and it's funny because he just told me this morning that that he's built, and it's going to probably be here faster than what we thought. 1 ounce bat, Kevlar bat, now in load. And I'm like, could you imagine? That stuff that's scary, not scary but exciting. That we're going to be the first ones to get to. We're going to be the first, second. No, we're going to be the second ones to hit it, because what they do up there is they hit it in that hit track. They run the numbers off of it, get 100 swings on it, nonstop 100 swings, and then boom, they'll send them right straight down to us, and we'll just hit them and let them know what we think about them. That's the part that I like.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing the senior softball bat reviews and just swinging other people's stuff. And we usually would get them later anyway, when they were coming out with the next model. And it was kind of like, okay, we got to get out there and hit this. And we already know.
I remember when you used to say you wouldn't do a review on a demo bat or one that's not in production yet.
Yeah.
Because you never know what's going to happen between that prototype and the actual production model.
Yes.
Because I was another bat company. I got to swing a lot of their bats from a friend of mine that knows a guy up pretty high up in the company. And so we get all these prototypes and we send back this report. Yes, bat's really great, really great. They were concerned with longevity, which it lasted like 1,000 swings. We'd never see that bat again because it lasted too long. And so they sent us another bat. Said, "No, this bat's not very good. It broke after 200 swings, 300 swings, and that's the bat that would be released." And it wasn't as good. Not just longevity. It wasn't as hot.
Yeah.
So we always got discouraged that we said, well, we should just lie and say this bat broken 100 swings and it wasn't very good, and they'd make that a production model. But I think with Short Porch is a small enough company, and you got a lot of input with them that's not going to happen.
Oh no!
If we say it's a good bat, they're going to believe it.
Okay, but here's the deal to what you're talking about. And we used to get black bats sent to us, and I used to tell everybody that sent me a black bat when I used to do research and development for a lot of the companies out there. I said, "Why'd you send me a black bat?" Because, and I'm gonna try to word this where I don't get in trouble. So I would tell them, "You got to send it with some paint on it. You got to do something." So all of a sudden, I got the Kevlar bat, and I look at it, and all of a sudden, I call Jeff and said, "Why'd you send me this?" He goes, "Oh no. We heard you. Heard you talk years ago, a couple of years ago." He goes, no, just, we did something. We took care of that, what you're talking about the having stickers on it, He goes, we actually extra coated it, just swing it. And I'm like, okay, as long as you know what I'm talking about, because I talked about this in the past, as long as you know what I'm talking about when I talk about, you can't just do a demo or a research bat and not have any paint on it, or not have any of the decals that they put on it, because that actually restricts barrel flex. And you know about this because we've talked about it in the past. And they said, no, we already accommodated for that to happen. So we did something.
Well, they actually over-accommodated because they really made it.
I didn't want to say that, but since you said it, they over-accommodated for it. It'll be less when it comes out in production. And I'm going, less? And he goes, yeah. One thing I like about that Kevlar bat is I'm a slapper, right? So I can slap it anywhere. And you saw me. And it just, going through and from what I heard, it has passed. It'll pass. It'll pass the inspection. The numbers that they have, it'll pass already. So that's one thing that coming in November. He's shooting for November, but I'll bet he gets it out. I'll bet he gets it out faster than that, because it is, a lot of people have been asking about it. He even says a lot of people are asking him about it. And I'm sure in Vegas, a lot of people will be asking about it up there too. You will be in Vegas?
I'll be there 60s play, I think the 12th through I'm there from 11th through the 18th, I think. 60s play first, and then the 65s and 70s play after the weekend.
What I want you to do is come hang out at the managers meeting with us. And then if you have some free time, come hang out at the tent with us too. Just to get out there, because I know a lot of people talk about you and want to meet you. That's another thing too. And if not the tent, make the managers meeting. And I think it's on the 11th that night. And when are you going to be there too? You're going to be 11th through the what?
I think 11th through the 18th, I think. Okay, so I have to look at the dates.
We have demo day too on the 16th.
That's
at noon.
Monday, though, right?
It's a Monday.
That's when the 65s and 70s start.
Oh, on that Monday?
So, yeah, the Monday. So it depends on our schedule and everything.
Yeah, it'll be at about noon or 1 o'clock on that Monday. And I don't know, you might play your pool games in the morning. If you play your 2 pool games in the morning, you ought to come in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how they.
Yeah, I'll make it if I can, but I'm playing both the 65s and 70s, so I think we're trying to get it to work out where one plays pool games in the morning, other plays pool games in the afternoon. So I'm not sure if it depends on the schedule. I'll come by if I can.
Yeah, because they have a managers meeting that night too. Are you sure on the 16th? Because I thought they had a managers meeting that night. We had to make it a manager.
No, the 65s and 70s play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Okay.
and then Thursday if there's enough teams. We won't play Thursday because it was only 3 teams in the 70s and 4 in the 65s.
Yeah.
So we'll probably just play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
But definitely, if you can't make that or none of those, then make the managers meeting. Because I know we're gonna have a booth set up there and just kind of hang out. I'm gonna be doing Facebook Live and just kind of hang out with us. That way, just get to know everybody and meet all the other guys. Because I think a lot of Brandon Murray's supposed to be there at some time. I'm not saying it's gonna be the same as when you're gonna be there. I think David Ireland's gonna be there and a couple other guys, a few other guys gonna be there too, and just get to talk to Jeff and Leslie and Christian, and because they're happy, they're excited to have you along, and I think we'll do good this year and basically moving forward to next year.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you guys asked me to join the team because, like I said, I believe in the bats. I think they're really good bats, and it'll be fun.
It'll be fun. So I will talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. Take care. Just push that button, Murray, so you're done. There you go. He gone. Murray Williams, joining Short Porch is a contract player. He's be swinging the product. He'll be swinging the product, and he'll be sporting their gear, basically, is what it's going to be doing. And representing. What better person, guys, do you have representing your brand than Murray Williams? He's easy to talk to. He knows his shit when it comes to physics and stuff like that. And I'm a big freak when it comes to that. So I like bouncing ideas off him, and I have bounced ideas off him in the past, not knowing that he was a nuclear physicist, physics. That's going to be awesome. Let me go through. I don't know how long I've been on. How long have I been on, guys? Let me know. I got one other thing I want to talk about. Actually, what we got going on for next year. Matt, I didn't go through everything with him, Matt. Basically, that's how come I left a lot of that stuff for you. I tell you what, you get him started talking and he doesn't stop. It's 9 o'clock already. Hour and a half. I just got to go through some bats, guys. And the way we're going to do this, I brought my chart. I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to talk about what we got coming, and a lot of it's going to be surprises. So, and I'm not going to talk about them until we get them here, and I can talk about them individually. I do not want to, or Jeff does not want to, overload. Basically, is what we're going to do. We don't want to overload on knowledge, giving you guys out there. We have bats coming in on the 27th, 26th, and 27th of next week. The first bat that we're going to actually talk about, and it'll probably be on that podcast on the 28th, which is next Wednesday, and it will be the Wig Popper. We also have the Bluegrass is going to be here on the 27th, which is next Tuesday. There will be a video going out on Bluegrass. The Baby Blue Wig Popper 2 will be here on the 27th. They have that bat, and I will have video out on that bat too. That is going to be out there. Jaeger Bomber, I have video on that too. That will be out on the 27th. Basically, letting you guys know what to look for. Podcast on Wednesday. Probably have Jeff in here with me. We have, I don't know why that's there. We have other bats that are coming out that next week, and basically that we're going to talk about. Brandon Murray, the player model bat. We have that one should be out next week too. But again, guys, we're going to talk about this in lengthy videos to kind of get you guys basically transparency and know what we're out there. That way, when you walk up to a booth, if you order them off the website, a lot of these bats will be put in the website. A lot of these bats will be taken to Vegas. So there are some bats that are going other places, but we'll give you guys that later on when we talk about it. Vegas Bomb will be in Vegas, and it will be on the website. Kevlar bat, I kind of write this down. Kevlar bat he talked to me about it a little bit this morning. I was so excited. I forgot about what the date that he was telling me about, but everything looks good on that bat. I think what he's going to do with that Kevlar bat is, and he kind of, threw this around the other day to all of us, was that balanced bat, that balanced Kevlar bat's going to be, that's going to be a game changer. I think that's the one I was swinging. It's a balanced bat, and I was swinging that bat. So that's going to be a game. Look out for that one. That's November, December. And the Lady Cherry Bomb, that's another thing, too, that he's going to have that bat out and get it to the girls before Vegas. That way they can swing it either in Vegas or do a lot of other videos on it, because basically what we want to do is flood the market with videos of us swinging the bats and talking about them on what to look for when you're actually choosing one of the bats. That's another thing too, is what Short Porch wants to do is educate everybody, so they're not walking up to a tent, or they're not ordering off the website, ordering the wrong product and wasting your money. And this is something that I agree with 100% that they want to do. That way it gets you into Brewtown, David, Ireland. They have some of those left as of today. We tried, I think Trey might have ordered one today for a player of his on his team. Wig popper, softer barrel, guys. I've heard so much about this. We'll be hitting that next week when we get it in. From what I heard, he's going to overnight it to me. We'll be doing Facebook Live all next week. And we might not be hitting one or two. Like I told my guys already, you better get ready, because we haven't hit in a while. I said, you better be ready, because there's going to be a lot of video coming out before Vegas on all these new bats that are coming out. Guys, it's not, and we're not flooding the market. It's just new technology that's coming out before Vegas. This company does not think like all the other companies out there. They want to get new product in your hands, new tech in your hands, and that way it better matches slower bat speed, medium bat speed, high bat speed. Like when I talked about with Murray, putting something in his hands that's going to better benefit you. You cannot put, guys, and I'm just going to tell you right now, you cannot put a wig popper in Murray's hands, one of the OG wig poppers in Murray's hands, that you can just give that to him, expect it. It's going to be hot for about 75 to 100 swing, and it's going to crack on him. So that's another thing too. There's a better, because his bat speed is so high, and his weight distribution, his height, all that ties in, like Jeff Kessler talked about, and how bats are made for different people. Basically, that's what they want to try to do. Vegas Bomb Kevlar. There is a Naya bat that's coming out. That'll be before Vegas too. That's a bat that will be here. I think we're going to have to, that might be on that last run before Vegas, but we'll still be doing video. We might be doing video every day leading up into Vegas. That's another thing too. I've already told the guys, we'll probably be doing video every day to get all these bats and all this information in you guys' hands, even when we get to Vegas too, because I'll be up there for 3 weeks. Even when we're in Vegas, I'll be putting video out of all this product that we have that's coming out, because I always have leftover video when I cut it up. There's going to be the small clips, and then there's going to be a run of all the long clips that you guys can watch, and basically watch us swing and talk about the ladies. Got the ladies Cherry Bomb that's going to be there in Vegas. I was talking to a lady that hit in a home run hitting contest last week in where was it? I was in Denver last week in Denver, and I was telling her about the bats that Short Porch for the ladies. First time, guys, a bat company is making bats for women, and I think that's going to blow up and that's going to take off, because I've been preaching this for years about y'all been at a disadvantage when it comes to picking up a bat, and you just take your boyfriend or your husband's bat and just use his, and it basically his bat speed was a lot higher than yours, and you didn't benefit from it. So we're putting out products to actually help you guys enjoy the game that everybody loves, basically what you're doing. I will see a lot of you people in Vegas. Still have stuff. We will be there with Phantom Sports, Todd Cox and Sarah. They will be there too, helping us out. I'll be at their booth, and I'll be at the one that we have, and that would be at Big League Dreams. I will be there back and forth all the time, talking to everybody. Come out and talk to me, pick my brain. I want Murray to be there. My guys, Clem and Trey, will be there. I think Trey comes in first, and later on Clem will come in later on, and just there to just bullshit and just brainstorm. That's another thing too, is what Vegas is going to be for me is work. And I talked to Christian about this. Christian is already looking at it for work, because that's going to be the first time since I've been hired to do this that we sit down at a round table and I can put all my ideas out on the table and I can tell them what I think. And they can take that, put numbers and physics behind it, and then I put in the bro science and tell them all the things that I know about how to make a bat better. And guys, there is so much shit that I have that is going to blow you guys' mind in the next couple of years, because it's something that we're not going to put out there all at once. We're going to actually do a little bit of getting the bats better. Let's introduce this, and sitting down with all them, either eating breakfast or eating dinner. And they've already said that's going to be the time where we're going to do it. We're going to sit down, and that way we can do a lot of writing down, do a lot of audio taping when it comes to that, because I like audio taping everything. Every conversation I like audio taping. That way I don't miss anything. I can go back. Like, did I say that right? Or when I was talking about the weight distribution and giving them numbers, my numbers that I think of half ounce, quarter ounce balance, 3/4 ounce bat, 1 ounce end load should be, and how they should go up in increments every time they go up in weight, 25, 26, 27, 28. So that's another thing too we're going to talk about, and that's probably, it's going to take all of 15 days that we're there to get all that knowledge, them to me and me to them, when we're talking about this on that round table. So everybody's excited about that, just to get me especially to get educated on short porch, basically going forward from here. I'm going to cut it off there, guys. Thanks for watching. We had a lot of people watching tonight. I was sitting here watching the numbers. I was sitting there watching the numbers. I was sitting there watching the numbers, and my numbers right now are higher than they were when I was doing senior softball bat reviews. So that's impressive to me, because I stopped doing something that everybody was watching, and I went to doing something with one bat company. I'm still pulling the numbers. That means a lot of you guys are interested in the movement. And a lot of you guys, the one thing I got from Denver that when I come back with is, a lot of you guys want knowledge. Y'all want to know. And going forward from here on out, that's what we're here to do. We're here to be teachers, basically, to you guys, to sit there and talk about just different things that are coming out, to a point, not where we're going to talk about things, new technology. Basically what we're going to do, that's my dog in the backyard. Basically what we're going to do is keep you guys informed on what's going forward. Not, we got new bats all the time. We got new bats coming out for Vegas. Every bat company does. Always develops their new stuff that's going forward. That always comes up before Vegas, and I think in spring, I think a lot of other stuff come out there too. But guys, thanks for staying in. Hey, here's the deal. Thanks for staying with me, because it was a transition that kind of dropped off, and then all of a sudden it's booming again right now. And I want to thank all the minions out there. I want to thank all the followers, because I've seen a lot of you guys in Denver, and y'all guys talk to me. And hey, thanks for what you're doing. Thanks for helping me on doing this. And if I can help, like I told this guy the other day, if I can help one person, I'm happy with doing what I do. The money didn't mean shit to me. It was basically helping you guys out and doing everything for you guys. Not everything for you guys, but just giving you guys another pathway, and where you can go and find out to get your quality of life back, for one, when it comes to health and nutrition, supplements that you take. Like me and Murray, I have Murray once a month on a podcast, just so everybody can hear him talk about things. And he for the first time, like he said the other day, He's done. He hasn't been on a podcast in 70 years, and then he's going to be on two. This one tonight, and guys, tomorrow TPSSA with Matt Barnes. He's going to be on there tomorrow night. Matt, you can get up here and tell me what time. Put it in your little comment thing right there. You can tell me if you haven't got off already. But basically tell everybody what time, or post it tomorrow what time Murray's going to be up there tomorrow, guys. And he's a great guy to talk to. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned. We got a lot of good stuff coming out.